Welcome to Hack the North 2019. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay. I think you can do a little better than that. How's everyone really doing tonight? All right. Make some noise if this is your first hackathon. Now make some noise if this is your first time at Hack the North. This year we are welcoming 1,500 hackers. Make some noise for all 1,500 of you. All right. Now we have a ton of swag to give out tonight. My pockets are feeling a little heavy. Why don't we start by lighting them up? Make some noise if you want some swag. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't worry about that. Settle down. All right, now there's plenty more where that came from, so stay tuned. Wait, we forgot to introduce ourselves. Oh, that is so rude of us. Well, my name is Christine. And my name is Christy, and we are Hack the North organizers. Oh, yes. It's a coincidence, I know. I swear. We are Hack the North organizers, and more importantly, your MCs for tonight's ceremonies. Right now, we'd like to ask you to make sure your phones are muted and the flash on your camera is turned off. So tonight, we're here to keep you entertained, let you know about how we do things here at Hack the North, introduce you to some really cool people, and get you ready for the best weekend of the year. Woo! All right, so the next 36 hours will be filled with new friends, skills, and ideas that you will bring to life. There's great food, snacks, workshops, meetups, and even a mini carnival. I hear there's bubble soccer too. There's some pretty crazy stuff. We've brought together 1,500 of you from all across the world and put together all the resources from the newest hardware to the coolest workshops to help you build incredible things with hundreds of mentors and volunteers. Whether you're a first-time hacker or a hackathon veteran, we are so excited about hackers of all levels, and we are very happy that you could join us here for this weekend. So we're so proud to host students from all over the world, including the Netherlands, Ireland, India, the UK, Spain, Ukraine, and many more. And of course, a huge chunk of you are from right here in Canada. We're all my Canadians. Oh, Canada. To stay updated for the event, here are the resources to check out. All important information will be announced on Slack. You can also talk to sponsors and mentors through Slack. The event schedule, maps, and other crucial event information can all be found at live.hackthenorth.com, as well as in the paper welcome booklet you received at registration. Now, if you have any questions or concerns at any point throughout the weekend, there's a help desk by the E7 main entrance where you can find organizers there 24/7. Now, just a few quick notes. First of all, we want to emphasize that safety and security is a top priority at Hack the North. The badge and wristband you received are what identify you as an attendee at Hack the North. Please make sure you wear this throughout the entire event. Whether you're just sitting down and hacking, or you're getting up to use the washroom, or you're eating your 4th bag of Cheetos at 3 a.m., please make sure you're wearing your badge and wristband. On a different note, we're especially focusing our efforts on sustainability at this year's Hack the North. So we all provided you with reusable water bottles to cut down on the number of single-use plastics that we usually go through every year. So we gave you it in your swag bags and fill it up at the water fountain refill stations that are on every floor of the building. And don't worry about cleaning it because we already cleaned it up for you. And we use it throughout the event. Also, we've ensured that every food container and piece of cutlery that we give you are compostable, so that when you're done, you can just drop off your whole container in the green compost bin along with your cutlery, napkin, and food scraps. And our coffee cups and bubble tea cups. Bubble tea. Yes, we do have bubble tea. Wow, bubble tea. Those cups. Bubble tea. Bubble tea. Wow. Yeah, well, those cups are compostable too. All the other beverage containers are recyclable, so please put them in the blue recycling bins. But this event would not be possible
possible without the support of our amazing sponsors. So we'd like to thank our gold sponsors, Deloitte, Loblaw Digital, Microsoft, TD Canada Trust.
As well as our silver sponsors, ACV Auctions, Canadian Special Operations Forces Command, Facebook, Flexport, FreshBooks, Google, Loyalty One, OTPP, Shopify, Sun Life, and SurveyMonkey.
A huge thank you to our bronze sponsors as well, A Thinking Ape, Accenture, Algorand, Applyboard, Bloomberg, Bank of Montreal, Bolt, Citadel, Cockroach Labs, Communications Security Establishment, Coursera, DRW, Ecopia,
General Dynamics Mission Systems, IBM, IMC Trading, Index Exchange, Kick Interactive, Manulife, Procter & Gamble, Rogers, Royal Bank of Canada, SAP, TextNow, Ubisoft, University of Waterloo, Faculty of Science, Viva Systems, Waterfront International Limited, and XE.com.
A huge thank you to our startup sponsors as well, which is Block Mason, Fuse, and VoiceFlow. We'd also like to thank our partner, Waterloo Engineering, who supported Hack North for the past 6 years to build a creative, diverse, and unique experience for hackers. We'd also like to thank our partners at Technion, the University of Waterloo, the Faculty of Science, Founder Institute, and Major League Hacking. Our event would not be possible without their support.
Let's give a big round of applause to our sponsors and partners. All right, so some sponsors also have incredible API prizes that your team can win. We're now going to invite a few of them on stage where they'll tell you more about what they do, who they are, and what you can gain from them this weekend.
So first up, we have our first gold sponsor, TD Canada Trust. Please welcome them to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Are you ready to hack? I think we can do a little bit better than that. Are we ready to hack? All right, so you might be wondering what TD is even doing here. My name is Tanya Bashkar. I am an early talent recruiter for the Technology Solutions team. And I am so excited with a bunch of my staff members to be here today. So thank you for having us, first of all. Second of all, we're really excited to meet all of you. So please make sure you're watching out for our booth. We are on the second floor. At TD, patio season never ends, so please make sure you come over, have a little drink with us, water, and come out and we'll talk to you a little bit about our opportunities available, as well as any help that you need in regards to this weekend. We're definitely able to help you as well. Secondly, or next thing, is we have an API challenge, and it is quite long, so I'm going to read it off my phone. So the challenge is, how might we use financial data to retain more customers by helping them to make a seamless transition from students to adulthood? A mouthful, but we rely on all of you to use your creative minds and come up with a solution, and you never know, we might actually use it. Now, we also do have a lot of different workshops, and we just wanted to keep you aware of that. The TD API workshop is on Saturday from 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Very open, but definitely come out to that to learn more about our API and how it can help you. The TD Tech Talk is also on Saturday, but in the afternoon, so 2 to 3 p.m. By our own Laura Wyatt, and I can definitely truly assure you it's probably one of the best tech workshops you're going to see today, so make sure you come out to that one. Just a little bias, just a little bit. We also will be here today from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. doing the poutine bar, so if you're interested in poutine and interested in TD, definitely come out to that. We're a fun group. And we are super excited to talk to you again throughout the entire weekend, so be sure to come over and have a great time, and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, TD Canada Trust. Next up, we have Loblaw Digital.
Hello and welcome to Hack the Day. My name is Samir Ricky. I'm a software engineering director at Loblaw Digital. With me is Esther Barudi. She's a mobile developer at Digital. Esther, tell me, what is it about Loblaw Digital that motivates you?
Well, the work I do impact Canadian lives on a daily basis. Like, I shop at Drug Mart, I go to No Frills, my mom goes to No Frills, and with all that, like, I need to make sure that the things that I put out as a software engineer is the best of the best. So when you start looking at like the stats, I know some of you here, No Frills, Shoppers Drug Mart, Real Canadian Superstore. Come on, we all know some people get sick, you know what I mean? So the reason is that, you know, at Aldi, we want to make sure that the things that we put out there with regards to when you get sick and you need to have access to your prescription, when it's grocery time, when you have to meal prep because you're trying to get that body, or when you're trying to just have that efficient time put aside to study, you know, you go to Shoppers Drug Mart and you're trying to get all the food and everything. So in Aldi, sorry. At Aldi, when we look at the annual intake for prescription, it's 29 billion. 29 billion is spent on prescription alone. And this is something that Aldi, we try to make sure that we're putting out the best services to make sure that you're, sorry, my nerves are shot. I've had a really long day, but it's really amazing what we actually do at Aldi, and the time that we actually put and the investment that we actually put in there is super amazing. So when you start to look at actually the impact, there is 36 million people in Canada. 18 million of those are on PC Optimum. That is Canada's largest reward program. And that's what we at LD make sure that when you use our reward program, you're actually getting the best of the best.
So when you think about it, 85% of Canadians shop in one of our stores every week. That translates into roughly about 45 billion in revenue just in 2017 alone. That's impact. That's what we're talking about. That's the responsibility we have to deliver convenience to Canadians. So let's look quickly at the things that we've built so far. Joe Fresh, our apparel line, Loblaws, online, our grocery, Beauty Boutique and Shoppers Drug Mart, PC Express, our online pickup and delivery service, and all of it is tied back to PC Optimum, our rewards program. Everything you do, every place you shop at, we're going to reward you for it. How do we do this? It's our obsession to customers. Customers first, and everything we can do to make that shopping experience convenient. And we do that with our product teams. We start there. They're the ones that bring us the requirements. They tell us what we need to do, what we need to bring to the market, what Canadians are looking for. Without them, we wouldn't know what we're building. We wouldn't know how to build it properly. When we have that kind of reach, we collect a lot of data. What are Canadians buying? When are they buying it? How often are they buying it? What we do with that data is very important. What we're doing today is we're customizing and personalizing offers to incentivize people to come back to our stores. We're going to reward you even more with the things you already buy. So let's talk about the technologies.
This is my area. This is where I got no nerves. My nerves are good here. Look at all the technologies we touch on. I love working at LD because when I have an idea or I have a question or there is a new technology out there and it's like, hey, can we touch this? We can. We're not limited by the technologies. We're limited by the solutions that we actually put out there. And what I love about working at LD is I get to bug my director and be like, hey, can we touch Elixir? Is that okay? And it's not a problem. It is not a problem. So we really put time, and when I mean time, we put in time, effort, so that when you're putting in time and effort to go do what you need to do with any of our services, you are getting the best of the best. We're putting our best foot forward.
How does that sound? Is that interesting? Is that something cool? So come and see us. Come visit our booth. We've got cookies.
We got cookies.
Come and meet our product teams. Come and meet our product teams, our developers, our hiring managers, our recruiters. We're all there. We're happy to talk to you, and we're looking forward to meeting all of you.
Happy hacking, hiring. Everyone.
We love our co-ops. Come and visit us. Come and find out about the opportunities we have. Good luck this weekend. Happy hacking.
So thank you, Loblaw Digital. Next up, we have Deloitte. Give it up for Deloitte.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay, it is like past 9 o'clock, which is way past my bedtime, and all of you are significantly younger than me, so I would much like a nicer woo. So let's pretend like I just walked on stage. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? There we go.
That's better.
Oh my gosh, much better. See, I told you, I'm a really good hype woman, Anik.
I'm telling you, Brienne, she's amazing.
My name's Bree, and I'm a member of Deloitte's campus recruitment team.
And my name's Anik, and I'm a leader in our technology consulting practice.
And we are here to share a little bit with you about Deloitte. Raise of hands, how many of you have heard of Deloitte before? All right, we're doing pretty good. This is pretty good thus far.
How many of you think that we're all accountants?
Raise hands.
It's okay, it's okay. It's happened before.
That's good. Okay, this is good. We're here to break some
So contrary to
stereotypes.
belief, we're not just accountants. A lot of the work that we actually do is outside of the accounting space. And so I'm here today representing our technology consulting practice. We also have a number of different groups that are going to be here this weekend. We have a brand new offering that we just produced called Omnia AI, which is our huge big data play. We have folks from risk advisory, financial advisory as well. So if any of those topics are interesting to you at all, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be at the hackathon all weekend. A couple stories of what we actually do. There's a number of different types of projects you can actually get engaged in when you're at Deloitte. Anything from redefining the fan experience for the Super Bowl to changing how a patient interacts with their oncology system. And everything in between are the different types of problems that we help our clients solve. So lots of really cool stuff going on at Deloitte right now.
Absolutely, and throughout the weekend, we have a ton of different events. You may have seen our super huge booth with our good friends at Loblaw Digital on the first floor, and our beautiful, very lush AstroTurf kind of runway that we have going on there as well. Highly recommend you come and visit us. But throughout the weekend, Loblaw Digital and Deloitte has sponsored a number of different events. For example, we have our hackerspace tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please put this in your calendar. Probably one of the most important events, yoga.
When do you do yoga at a hackathon? Isn't that
who
crazy?
does yoga at a hackathon? Also, I know that my overall energy level doesn't really show this, but I'm your yoga teacher. How cool is that? So, as you can tell, I'm probably not your typical yoga teacher, so it'll be a lot of fun. Even if you've never done it before, come and try it out. We're also going to have a perfect pitch event where we're giving away a couple of Google Home Minis for the perfect pitch at our booth, which is awesome, and some other more exclusive swag items that we'll be handing out throughout the weekend. So please be sure to stop by, speak with us. I know the yoga got everybody really excited. It's okay. So please be sure to come, stop by, speak with us, speak with our colleagues at Loblaw Digital. We'll also be able to tell you a lot more about our different service lines, some of the things, the cool projects that our groups work on, as well as if any of you are interested in full-time roles or co-ops, we do have them available for every term, so we can give you more details about that.
And so with that, a couple things to keep in mind as you head into the hackathon over the weekend. We've done quite a few of these over the last few years. A couple things. First, understand the problem you're trying to solve for. A lot of times when we work in hackathons, we have a lot of teams come up with really cool solutions, but they don't know what they're trying to solve for. So keep that in mind. The second is when you're designing your solution, be creative, try different things. You never know what might be the ideal solution for the problem that you have actually identified. So keep that in mind as well. And the third thing too is it's a weekend, it's a hackathon. You're at the biggest hackathon in Canada. So have a hell of a time. Enjoy, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Deloitte. Next up is Microsoft.
Hello, Hack the North. Hello, Hack the North. Tonight, and on behalf of Microsoft Canada and Microsoft headquarters, we are asking you to help us enable everyone achieve more. So, today, we live in an ecosystem with more collaborators, partners, organizations, and customers. And actually, our ability to learn from and connect with, amplify the value is like never before. So, one thing that is constant here is the constant stream of data that is flowing through that ecosystem. And we believe that that data, if captured and harnessed with applied intelligence, it will help us do things that we could not do before. And this is all connected with the intelligent cloud, but now we can put more compute power where it matters the most. And this is what we call the intelligent edge. And it's that compute power at the intelligent edge with the connective and responsive cloud that enable us to make better decisions. Now, with the constant stream of data that we have and the applied intelligence that we can have with it, and this is what happens when you don't use PowerPoint, we believe we can enable you to engage customers in ways you couldn't do before. Now, when you throw in technologies like mixed reality, like personalized experiences, engaging customers takes a new light in the equation. Transforming products and services where you infuse AI in every aspect of the things that you're doing in products and services, and optimizing operations, and throwing, again, technologies like blockchain where you can be secure but distributed. But much more important is how you can empower every employee in every organization to achieve much, much more. Now, the magic really happens when you start doing all of those things and you have that connected tissue going across the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge, is you have a new exhaust of data that is coming through that. And now you can reason over that data and gain new capabilities that comes with that. Now, this is all good, and we call it the digital feedback loop, but really the fast pace and the shorter sprints and the continuous delivery of value that is happening in the technology is causing us to have lots of technologies. And there is a real problem, and that problem is you having to learn and master all of that. And the expectation bar is really high for any projects that you're taking. Plus, you need to look at expectations like privacy, security, what about the ethical aspects of anything you do. So with all of that, that is why we deliver Microsoft Azure. And Microsoft Azure is really the way we think of it is, it's our platform for your innovation. If you haven't looked at Azure in the last few months, I highly suggest that you look at it. The amount of innovation that we keep adding every month is just awesome, and it will help you wherever you're creating things that rely on our infrastructure, or go to the higher-end services where you can use higher-end services like AI, like everything I mentioned is there. And even as you extend that to the edge, whether it's the Azure Stack or MCUs where you have Azure Sphere, and even the amazing HoloLens with the Azure Mixed Reality services that you can use today. So all of that is available through your normal developer tools and DevOps pipelines, and we encourage you to use it. Our mission in Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And if it's one ask that we're asking you today is, whatever you do in your hackathons, help us achieve that goal and empower everybody achieve more. Thank you.
Thank you, Microsoft, and thank you to all the sponsors that we just heard from.
Pretty cool sponsors, eh?
Yeah?
All right.
So you'll be hearing from a few more in just a little while, but before that, who wants some more free swag?
There's more to come. Continue sharing your experiences with new friends by posting pictures on Instagram and Twitter using our hashtag YourHackTheNorth, as well as our custom Snapchat filter.
And now we'd like to introduce a very special guest for tonight's fireside chat. We'll be fielding questions from the audience tonight for our speaker via Twitter. So just make sure to mention us at HackTheNorth. And again, use our hashtag HackTheNorth in your question.
It is our pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey is, sure. All right, Jack Dorsey is chairman and CEO of Square, CEO of Twitter, and co-founder of both.
Moderating the conversation will be Kartik Talwar, who's currently a general partner at A Capital, focused on investing in crypto, and is also one of the co-founders at Hack the North. So please join us in welcoming Jack and Kartik. Woo!
Jack, welcome to Hack the North.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We're super excited to have you here. So, the audience, I just want to make a quick note. We will have a Q&A section at the end of this talk. So if you have any questions, just tweet them out with the hashtag #HackTheNorth, and we'll ask them on stage. So, Jack, for those of us who may not be familiar, tell us what Square is and why you created it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I couldn't be with you all in person. I love Waterloo. We have a pretty significant office in Waterloo that develops the Cash App for Square. But Square started as a very, very simple problem that my co-founder had. He was not able to accept a credit card, and we knew nothing about the credit card industry. We knew nothing about building hardware. We knew a little bit about building software, but it was an interesting problem that we felt was worth exploring. So we gave ourselves a month, and we built a prototype, and we learned the bare minimum that we needed to learn to build the hardware. We learned enough about the financial networks, and we hooked it all up, and the damn thing worked. And we started showing it off to people, and they said, "Wow!" So we thought we were onto something with that reaction. It felt very tangible. It felt very real. And as we started digging in, we realized at some point we weren't really building a company to build a credit card reader. That would not be valuable. There were a number of companies that were making these rectangular boxes that you see on countertops everywhere, and they swipe cards. But what we learned as we started giving it to small sellers, specifically a flower cart underneath my apartment in San Francisco at the time, was that a lot of sellers were trying to accept credit cards. They would go to a bank to get a merchant account, and they would be denied. And the reason they'd be denied is the only instrument the financial institution, the bank, had to vet them was a credit card check, or not a credit card check, but a FICO score, a credit check. And a lot of small sellers and a lot of entrepreneurs who are just getting started have terrible credit. So only about 30 to 40% of the people who apply to accept credit cards would get through the system to actually accept a credit card. And we just thought that was a little bit ridiculous. Like, why check someone's credit to receive money? And we dug in a little bit more, and we saw an opportunity to build a new way to vet people, to utilize more data to understand them, and really make a mindset shift from distrusting, but to one of trusting and verifying. So we built a system that accepted 99% of the applicants, and we just verified every transaction along the way for fraud. And what was interesting in the company was that we recognized that the use case that we were solving for wasn't accepting credit cards, but it was actually around making the sale. A lot of sellers were seeing a lot of customers who wanted to pay with a credit card. They didn't want to carry as much cash, and they weren't carrying as much cash, and they were being left out of the economy because they couldn't accept it. We witnessed countless circumstances where someone would come up, say, "I want to buy, these 12 roses," hand over a credit card. The merchant would say, "We don't accept that," and they would walk away looking for an ATM, give up, and would never come back. So it was a lost sale. So we then kind of focused the company on not making credit card readers, but how do we help sellers make the sale, and then ideally make more sales. And that led to a real opening of the aperture of what was possible. It wasn't just about making this credit card hardware and getting people onto the software, but that enabled us to think about point of sale, and that enabled us to think about Square Capital, which is a lending product, and enables us to think about customer relationship management. So all these things help a seller make a sale and make more sales. And that one insight into the deepest use case rather than just the superficial action that people were taking with our hardware and software was the thing that created. So yeah, that's how we started and why we started.
No, that's amazing. Was all of this super obvious back then, or you just kind of unlocked sort of new sort of visions as you started from the card reader, and how did you actually learn about knowing what else to focus on?
It was not obvious at all. I mean, as many of you in the audience probably know, I mean, you start with one expectation and then you see something unexpected and you pull the thread on the unexpected, and that leads to, you know, in my experience, something much bigger. As long as you have the patience, as long as you have the discipline to ask the question why, like why are only 30% getting through the system? Why a credit check? And just go deeper and deeper into the whys, and then, you know, being comfortable with reaching an I don't know, and then having the, you know, the work ethic to understand why you don't know and to fix it. So it was a constant daily practice of going deeper and deeper into more and more levels of why that led us to, you know, an immense amount of value, but also a lot of blockades within the financial institutions, which have a lot of systems in place um, to protect the business that they have and their profits, which we found and were able to find a path through. But it was just a constant iteration and a constant push to understand what was going on and how we might improve it, with the goal of just improving access to all.
Kind of rewinding back to about 10 years ago when you were working on the first card reader, did you have anywhere from friends to investors to engineers who didn't believe that you could pull something like this off? How did you handle criticism and skepticism around the product back then?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of folks who weren't discouraging, but they were saying this is going to be really challenging, and you have no experience in finance and banking and hardware, and how do you scale this? And you know, my background was in dispatch and then Twitter, and um, I was coming from a very different world into a world I didn't understand and didn't really appreciate the nuances and the complexity of. So as we thought about raising our first round of money, um, created a slide deck, uh, pitch deck, and um, we took 2 weeks. I love time constraints because it forces us to really scope and be creative within those work with at the beginning of those 2 weeks, and all the investors we really wanted to work with at the end of those 2 weeks. And that allowed us to really practice the pitch. It also pretty easy idea to pitch because you know, the way I opened the meeting was hand over your credit card, and I would take it and swipe it, and depending on what, and we would use it for dinner. But we, you know, we simply used the opportunity to practice. And then I had one slide in the deck which articulated all the reasons, and we came up with 140 of them that we would fail. And on the next slide, took 9 or 10 of them and just went down each one that I thought were the biggest risks, how identify them as a risk, and then also how we are thinking about solving it, improved to be enough to quell a lot of the doubt so we could focus on the opportunity. We understand it. And then at the end of those 2 weeks, you know, we met our final complexity to investors out that we understand what we don't know. COSA and COSA led the A. So all in all, it was, you know, to our expectations and to our designs, exactly what we wanted. And then we went.
Awesome. So before I move on to the next question, quick request: can everybody just put their phones on airplane mode for the next 20 minutes, and we'll go back on to the interview. So we're at Hack the North. This is our 6th ever event, and this marks there's over 1,500 students in the building, and this makes it actually world's biggest collegiate hackathon, and we're super proud of that. And not only that, Square and both Twitter have a big hackathon culture. Could you tell us about how the hackathons at the company are held and any interesting things that have come out of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think a hackathon is a good opportunity. We usually do them in weekly phases, so it's a good opportunity to just create a space where we don't have to concern ourselves with the day-to-day. It's not true for everyone. You know, we have significant operations that people have to mind, but generally it allows us to get a bunch of folks who are able to really have enough space to think creatively and do things that they've always been curious about, and have a tight time constraint in which to do it. Again, I go back to this time constraint because I think it does scope what is important, and it gets to some really interesting answers. They're never complete, but they are enough to spark a question as to whether we should continue to fund it and invest in it. So both companies have hackathons. Some one at Square we do more team-based, and it's at the discretion of the team of when and how often. And at Twitter we've been doing a company-wide one, and it's once a year. And we get some really good ideas and some things that stretch our perspective. So it's great to me because we see things that we just otherwise wouldn't have thought of. And I believe the best invention and innovation doesn't come from and drawing it out. It actually comes from doing the work, finding something unexpected, and then pulling on that thread and going deeper. And those unexpected insights, to me, lead to really big things. And we've seen that happen at Square. We've seen that happen at Twitter. Twitter itself, as a service, started in another company that was failing, and we decided that we wanted to explore completely different ideas. And again, initial prototype for Twitter, and we just fell in love with it and decided to make it a thing. So I think that space for exploration and creativity is extremely valuable, and the time constraint is a good forcing function to do something that one thinks matters. and really helps you prioritize, you know, the sequence that you need to do to show off the essence of the idea to someone who might find it valuable and might find it interesting.
Cash App, which is a payments app, now lets you purchase Bitcoin. Can you paint us a picture of how big that opportunity is?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, when the Bitcoin white paper came out, I was blown away. I grew up on the internet. I grew up on Usenet. I grew up on IRC. I grew up in the Usenet group, alt cypherpunks, and cryptocurrency was always a dream. A global currency, a native currency for the internet was always was a dream that felt somewhat out of reach, but definitely attainable in some future. And to see it in the city of the paper with the principal paper, with the the implementation and what it meant, with the fact that it was created by a pseudonym, uh, and it just felt right in every single dimension. And I computer science in the past years. As I look out at impact, technology trends that impact society and our business, the two that have the greatest impact to me are artificial intelligence and blockchain and crypto, and to be in the process of a potential for a currency that is native to the internet is the last, not the last, but that the internet has always promised in terms of removing borders and barriers. And when we remove that for a currency, there's just so much that is possible, certainly within our business, but within society at large. So we took a stance at Square that we didn't want to just wait for it to happen to us. We wanted to help make it happen. And principles, because of that, because it's open, because it's been born on the internet, and because of the community. It's weird, and it's cool, and it reminds me of the internet I grew up with. It was weird, and it was cool, and it was excellent in so many ways. There were certainly issues, but those evolve over time, and I want to do everything within my power to help push this idea of a native currency for the internet. And Bitcoin also has this amazing resilience. It's been tested so much in so many different vectors, and it has, I think, an amazing brand as well. So there are other crypto systems that I think serve a particular function that I'm interested in and curious about, and certainly want to help. But as a currency, I think Bitcoin is quite powerful and quite interesting.
Thanks for that. This is a hackathon where everybody's a student, so I want to switch gears and talk a bit about sort of things around career decisions and just advice. So I want to kind of start off with a question, which is, did you ever get any advice that was wrong, but at the time you thought was right?
Yes, certainly, but no specifics come to mind. I mean, well, I guess one thing is when we were starting Square, when we were about 10 people, we were advised heavily to hire someone in the financial industry, hire someone of banking, of moving money, of the credit card networks, and I thought it was right until I met the people, and then I realized it was it was wrong. And the reason I realized it was wrong is because they just came in with a very set mindset and weren't really willing to challenge it. They felt like they were going to be a force to set rules upon us or older mindsets that we were trying to change. And then one with financial experience until about employee 100, and that somewhat naive approach allowed us to question a ton. But we also understood the responsibility we had in terms of moving people's money around, um, and what that meant. So we didn't take it lightly. We wanted folks who were disciplined and rigorous and empathetic and willing to um, do the hard work to do the right thing. And we found a number of them. And then we did hire someone from the financial industry, but we really honed what we were looking for, and it gave us a good sense of what we were expecting out of that person, out of that experience.
Um, I guess with that, like, how important do you think your education was to your success?
My formal education, I don't believe was that important, based upon the fact that I dropped out of it. But what was important is the acknowledgement to myself that the thing I needed to focus on was learning. And where was I learning the most, the fastest? And I was doing a bunch of contracting when I was in school, from high school to college, and I was just learning so much more um, through that work than I was in my classrooms. And it probably wasn't the fault of the structure of the organization or my professors or teachers. It's just how I learned, and it was important for me to recognize how I learned best and to act on that, even though it felt risky. I mean, my parents didn't go to college. They were hoping that I would go and I would finish, and I had that hanging over my head, and it felt like I needed to complete something that I started. So there were a number of barriers telling me not to take the action that I took, but ultimately it just unleashed all my time to learn in the way that I learned the best. And over time, I realized, like, the one thing I I, I appreciated about that was how do I improve my skill of learning the most? How do I improve my critical thinking abilities? How do I strengthen my ability to ask essential questions? Um, and I realized some point along the way that, like, when I was a kid, I never wanted to be an engineer. I never wanted to start a company. I never wanted to be a CEO. I wanted to make things. I wanted to build things, and I was excited if I could build things that I could see other people use. It just felt electric. It felt amazing. And I taught myself how to program so that I could work with my dad's computer and build something on it, because I saw this opportunity to, this is a thing I could use to build something from nothing, like absolutely nothing. I could start with nothing, and whatever I was thinking I could build if I learned enough. But what learning programming did to me was it really taught me how to problem solve. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It taught me how to decompose problems into smaller parts. It taught me how to experiment, to form hypotheses, experiment, get a very fast feedback loop on whether those experiments were correct and they matched the hypotheses or hypothesis was incorrect. So I learned that I need any system that allows a fast feedback loop to um, observe, learn, and improve was something that I wanted to build my skill set around. And And programming is one. There's a number of others. There's a number of other programs and courses and methods that teach that. But programming for me just taught me how to problem solve better. And at the end of the day, when we consider any organization, whether it be a company or a nonprofit or a government, like the root cause and the root initiative for those organizations is to solve problems. It's to identify and solve problems, and that's it. So, strengthening our ability to solve problems, identify problems, understand the breadth of the problem, to be able to scope the problem down, to decompose it in smaller parts and sequence it. That's the skill, and that's the thing I would want to be taught more if I. It's really just around critical thinking and problem solving, and then when you have that, you can apply it to everything. And there's so much creativity that's unleashed because of it. But that tight feedback loop is really what I owe a lot of my work to.
So, with so much information out there now, people can learn anything that they want online. And we now have all these tools that let us kind of do anything we want with people across the world. How do you kind of see work and education sort of evolve over time? And like, you can kind of feel free to pick either, but what are some of your thoughts on, like, as you kind of build companies and as others build companies, how do they sort of differ from how they are now?
Well, every moment, every year, it gets easier and easier to build something from scratch. The tools enable more scale much faster, and a lot of the barriers that were in place before have fallen. So, I think an approach that focuses on fast experimentation, fast feedback loops, agility to recognize errors and mistakes, and an ability and a discipline to change it will lead to really good outcomes. So I've always learned the most by putting myself out in very uncomfortable situations that I'm not familiar with, and then just doing it and just doing the work. And I think with regards to building technologies, it just gets easier and easier. And these technologies get more and more complex, so there's always a trade-off to that. But I don't know of any other path that would work for me. And everyone is going to have a different experience and a different way to learn, a different way to build, than just to do it and just to get it out of my head and play it in whatever medium that I think will manifest the idea in the best possible way. So it's just kind of identifying the idea that you want to work on, and then identifying in a short time frame what tools would best serve you, and then learning them. For me, it wasn't to mastery. It was just I'm much more of a hacker than I am an engineer. I do whatever it takes to make it work. I learn whatever it takes to make it work, and nothing more. And then I move on to the next thing. And as I've thought about building organizations, it's recognizing my gaps in scaling and operating that I need to fill. There are a lot of people who want to master that aspect, and that's who I'm looking for. But for me, it was being able to test and feel something very quickly so that I could build conviction in myself that it was worth pursuing. And if I had that conviction, then I would have the confidence to express it to someone else, try to convince them to work with me on it.
Having said that, how do you personally manage stress?
I mean that's another thing. It's just through experimentation. So like every level of stress leads to every new level of stress leads to a necessary change in how I might think about my day or my work or my personal life or my health. So, you know, when I went back to Twitter and took on two jobs, it really forced me to change, to consider and then change a lot of my health practices. For instance, I needed to have an exercise practice that I could do every single day without fail, no matter where I was, and no matter how much time I had or didn't have. And that led me to particular decisions. I felt I needed to have more control over my reactions and to be less reactionary so that I could uh, be clear about a path forward and be more proactive. And that led me to meditation. And I realized that uh, I wanted the time that we spent together to be very valuable and to be very focused and to be very impactful. And I wanted every single minute or every single hour to be focused on the thing that I wanted to do. And I you know, I through experience, the less I slept, the worse those hours awake were. So that led me to building a better sleep practice and then just hiring great people that I trust to do work and that I can work together with and are building a great team dynamic that is supportive and challenging and encouraging and raises the bar on each other. Um, Created a great dynamic for me to continue to uh, to to thrive and to work on what was most impactful. So um, I think it again. It's just like throwing myself into the fire and then figuring out what I need to do in order to sustain it and to stay there, and then to build on top of it.
Thank you for sharing that. Um, I wanna start kind of asking a couple of questions before we move on to the audience. So a few hundred of the students in the audience today will be graduating very soon. And as a lot of them think about kind of their careers or some of them are in high school starting university, what advice would you give them as students who are interested in tech?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, technology is not an endpoint. It's a tool, and it's a tool that we use to better some aspect or improve some aspect of um, the lives around us or um, the society around us or the world around us. And if we're using technology to just impact the life of a few people, that's awesome, and that's it's noble, and something that should be valued. And if it resonates with more, then even better. So I think the most important thing that I found is that I need to have a really clear sense of what I believe um, my purpose is, the one that resonates the most with me. Um, because if I have that, I can wake up every day and face all the things that are challenging and uncomfortable and tough, and knowing that there's something deeper that I'm working towards and working for and serving. And the technology is an instrument to do that. Um, so I just view it towards that light. That there's certainly ways to just improve technology, but ultimately, what is it being used for, and what's the impact? What's the broader impact? How does it make someone's life better, more efficient, saves them time, empowers them in a way that wasn't possible before, to a different scale. So I think that the most important thing during this time is just try a bunch of stuff and like what resonates the deepest with you, and likely you'll find enduring purpose there, and something that you can attach to. And then when you have that, everything becomes a lot clearer. There's still confusion and there's still doubt, and there's still a staggering path, but it does paint a picture of what you should look closer at. And then when you look closer at that thing, more emerges, and it just continues to unfold and unfold and unfold. And also have the courage just to say, hey, actually, this isn't for me. I went down this path so far, but it's not for me. Understanding that resonance of purpose, I think is most critical, and then apply the technology.
Thanks for that. I mean, hackathons are a perfect venue for experimentation, and that's kind of how you get to figure out what you like or don't like. So last question before we move on to the audience. If you were at a hackathon, or this hackathon today, what would you hack on?
What are the constraints of the hackathon? Like, is it I can do anything?
Absolutely no constraints at all. You can pick whatever you'd like that you can get done in 36 hours.
I am in 36 hours. Wow, that is a significant constraint. I guess the categories that I'm really fascinated by are health, and just the mind. So I want to come with something that might ask questions around those problems and just some of the unknowns there. The other one is just broader health. And if I was a better cryptographer, it would be crypto all day.
That opens up a whole new set of questions we're going to get from the audience. So we started getting questions today, and I'll start asking them. So if you still have any more questions, please tweet them out with the hashtag #HackTheNorth, and we'll line them up. So kind of going off of your one of your previous answers, we have a question that says, do you think technological progress is still a net good for the society?
Yeah, because I think we have to understand like what technology is in the first place, and it again, to me, it is a tool. And think of all the technologies we've had for thousands of years that have generally made society more organized and I think net better. And there's certainly counterexamples to this as well that can be used for destructive purposes. But I generally think that we can drive technology towards really positive outcomes that help us realize, um, our our humanness and our humanity and some of the existential problems facing the entire world. So I think we need to build across every dimension um, in, in the spirit of making life better for the people around us. And everything from plumbing to language to phones to the internet is technology. Those are all technology. It's not something that we can separate into one thing. And it's also not something any one person or organization is driving. And it's not something that any one person or organization can stop. So given that, why don't we do the best thing with it and make it better for everyone?
So as I suspected, we have a lot of crypto questions. So I'm going to try to field some of them away. But there's an interesting question that says, Mark Andreessen recently mentioned that the original sin of the internet was its business model based on advertising. And if you have no advertising, you ideally have no privacy issues. Do you think crypto solves that problem or can solve that problem?
Well, I mean, I think advertising certainly has its complications, but I wouldn't just rule out the entire thing. I think all these things can be improved and made more valuable. So I do believe the internet has the potential to have other durable revenue models that are massive and interesting. And I think what crypto does is, it enables more ideas that were out of reach to flourish. And if I just were to consider Square, I mean, it took us 9 months to launch in the US because of all of the regulatory and um, age of the financial industry. But more than anything else, like every market that we open has a completely different currency, completely different regulation, completely different banking partners that we have to deal with. And what a native currency for the internet allows is it allows Square to be an internet company where I can launch something and the whole world can decide if it's viable or not instead of us going market to market to market to market. So I think it unleashes a ton of potential to the positive. And again, with anything, there are some negatives that we need to watch out for. But I would also ask the question: advertising better? How do we evolve it so that it's aligned with all of our constituencies, from our advertising customers to the individuals that we serve? And I think there's something there. So I wouldn't fully rule it out. It's had a number of benefits in that it's been able to offer a free service to people who wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise. And as definitely has overreaches, especially with data and privacy, that we need to be mindful of and we need to evolve. But things like the blockchain point to new approaches that can manifest in solving some of these problems that give a lot more control to the individual over what they find valuable or not.
Thanks. A student from the audience wants to know, who do you go to for advice and why?
Well, I have very few close friends, and I lean on them a lot. One of my closest is a guy named Brian Picorni. He was one of our first angel investors in Twitter and our first angel investors in Square, and he's someone that counterbalances all my weirdness and I want to explore and just grounds me, but also sees a lot given what he does. And my teams, I have teams of people who are not afraid to speak up and tell me what's up and push on ideas and tell me no, and I get a lot from that. But I have more of a mindset of like every single experience I have, every single object I come into contact with, every single person I come into contact with, every single conversation I have is a teacher, and I can learn something from everything. And it goes back to that learning mindset. Like, what is this thing trying to teach me? What is this person trying to teach me? What is this conversation trying to teach me? What is this uncomfortableness trying to teach me? And with that mindset, everything is a mentor, and everything is able to give advice and kind of hone the direction in the right way. So I first approach with that mindset, and then rely a lot upon the people that are closest to me and that I trust, and who I know are not afraid to tell me what's up.
That's an excellent mindset to have, and I also want to thank actually Brian Picorni, who actually introduced us to make this happen. So he's an excellent person. How do you think the rest of the world coming online with a few billion people who are expected to join the internet in the next 5 years will sort of shape just our world? And sort of, do you think we're underestimating anything about that wave of folks joining the internet?
It's so exciting. I mean, just think about all the folks coming on, and how they've only grown up knowing that the internet exists. That's amazing. They've grown up knowing that all these phones and the capabilities within them exist. They've grown up knowing that things like Bitcoin and artificial intelligence are getting more and more mature, it's just going to be incredible to see all the connections that are made to make something. The the thing that excites me the most is like I had to move from New York to San Francisco to start a company. That's what I felt, um, and that was in 1999, and that company failed completely. But what I found was that there was this amazing support network within San Francisco and the Bay Area around um, making mistakes and just learning from them, and an amazing network of people to talk to that I could learn from. But as I travel the world and meet entrepreneurs around the world, what's exciting to me is like they're saying, I'm not moving to San Francisco, I'm not moving to the Bay Area, I'm starting my company here. And the most exciting is the companies that are choosing to be fully distributed. I met someone who has a company of 400 people. They're in 40 countries, and the most number of people they have in any one country is 6 people. And I think that is amazing. That to me is the future. That the internet makes location irrelevant. That is the promise of it, and that is finally coming to light and to bear in a way that is scalable. So at the end of this year, I'm excited to go to Africa for the first time, and I'm visiting Ethiopia and Ghana and Nigeria and Kenya and South Africa, which is increasingly hosting a very rich set of entrepreneurs and companies and people who are building just some really compelling technology. So I'm going to learn, and I'm going to connect, and I'm going to support. You know, the percentage of youth in various countries within Africa is immense and only growing. And I think it's a big part of the future. And the more we can do to ensure that connectivity, we're just going to see better ideas, better experiments, and we'll advance and innovate faster in the right way.
A handful of really excited students in the audience want to know, when is Cash App coming to Canada?
That is also what our folks in Waterloo ask all the time as well. It's crazy that we have this app that a lot of the engineers who are building it can't even use because it's not in Canada yet. But it will be soon. This again is just the the inefficiencies of the financial industry right now is just market by market by market by market, and there's so many differences and nuances that makes it very hard to open a new market. But we want to do it because first and foremost, we want our engineers. We have a huge engineering population in Waterloo. We have a huge engineering population in Melbourne that's working on the Cash App as well, and neither one of those populations can use the product that they're building every single day. So we're working on it, and it'll happen.
So soon.
I know that's not a satisfactory answer, but we're working on it.
At least we know it's coming. The maybe a hard one from the audience is what is a great business that you think nobody's building?
A great business that I think don't. I mean, that's the other thing is that I've just never I've never started with business. To me, the business is the thing that provides the oxygen to the idea. And I'm I only built a business so that we could we could pay people to help work on this thing, and that's what leads everything. And we, of course, we want to build a a business that people believe in, but what comes first is the service value to people, and how do we fund it so that we can grow it, so that it can be more valuable to more people. So that's number one. But I'm interested in, you know, just the health space. I think the unknowns are what captivate me, and there's so many unknowns about just how our mind works and how the body works. And there's nothing more precious to us than our health, and it's the thing that we least understand. Um, and I just think there's a lot of valuable questions and solutions within that space that businesses can emerge from and help fund a service around.
Another crypto question. Have you heard of DeFi or decentralized finance, and what are your thoughts on it?
I've heard of it. I haven't gone that deep, unfortunately yet, but I will. Um, I, I think there's something there. I mean, look, blockchain and the broader crypto ecosystem can solve so many of these problems that the traditional institutions and the traditional practices have not been able to solve in a really scalable way to touch as many people as possible, and in a way that is more focused on presenting, you know, in equal opportunity that will ideally lead to better outcomes for folks. So I think there's definitely something there. As you know, we have a business called Square Capital that does lending. The average loan size is about $6,000. And one of the things we realized when we started that product and as we saw people use it was we were not competing with banks at all with this. Banks can't make a profit usually under, even community banks can't make a profit on loans under $20,000, $10,000. So we weren't competing with banks. We were actually competing with people going to their friends and their family to ask for money to help them buy the new salon chair or buy more marketing or rent a location. And so that was interesting. So I think it's important first and foremost to focus on the use cases and focus on why people might hire this thing versus the other hiring candidates, and go deep on that. And if crypto and blockchain help address that in a more scalable and deeper and better way, awesome.
No, thank you. That was actually super insightful. I wanna ask one last question before we end this. And if you could leave off with one idea in everybody's minds, especially the students who are in their late teens and early 20s, what would you want to share most with them?
I go back to that. You know, I think the most important skill that we can build is our skill of problem solving, and anything that you can seek out that helps you ask more essential questions, that helps you with your critical thinking, that helps you with a practice of observing and learning and improving, is very valuable. And I would spend as much time as you're able on developing and even mastering that skill because it can be applied to everything in your life. And you know, it's a little bit abstract sometimes, but you can put it into real practice. And you know, programming is certainly one way to do that, but there are others. So I would seek out material that um, enable that skill and strengthen it, um, and that will just give you the base set of tools to enable you to face any challenge. At least it has for me. And then you know, it's just a matter of like when you have that, how do you build more self-awareness so you can recognize your gaps, recognize like, you know, where life is trying to teach you something, where you need to change your practice, whether it be health or work or you know, relationship or whatever it is. There's all these teachers in every single thing that we do, and it's up to you to decide to learn from that teacher or not. You know, growing your capacity for self-awareness will really be meaningful in arming you for agility to continue to refine your work and your idea and your ability to communicate that to others that would inspire them in such a way that they want to work with you.
And with that, please join me in a round of applause thanking Jack for his time. Thank you again so much.
Thank you all. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, Jack and Kartik. How was that, everyone? Pretty cool. Woo! Pretty cool.
So guys, keep this energy up. You know why? Because we have more swag to pull out.
Oh,
So everybody
yeah.
cheer! Woo! Who wants a goose? Who wants a goose? Oh, shit.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
You guys are dying down. Keep it up!
Bring it up, yeah.
Woo. I'm so sorry.
All
All right,
right.
everybody settle
All
down. Coming up next, we have a few of our silver sponsors that are going to be presenting. So first up, we have OTPP. Please welcome them to the stage. Woo! Woo!
So I'm totally putting on my resume that Jack Dorsey is my opening act. My name's Dan Houle. I'm the Managing Director of Innovation and Emerging Technology, and I'm thrilled that my firm is here sponsoring this event this year. I'm also pleased to be in Waterloo again. I did my undergrad just across the road here, but that was during a time when Laurier was known as the high school down the street from U of W. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Ontario Teachers, we're responsible for the financial future of 320,000 active and retired teachers. And we do that through an investment program that is now at over $200 billion with assets under management. And we invest in organizations like SpaceX, Verily Life Sciences, and most recently Sidewalk Labs, as organizations to help provide return to ensure the future security of those teachers. I'm joined this weekend by with 10 mentors that are software engineers and innovation leads. And they're here for two reasons. One is to ensure that you have fun and help you with some of your projects, but also as resources for you to learn more about our organization, some of the interesting things that we're up to. We hire over 200 students a year in roles for co-op, intern, and full-time positions, and a lot of those positions are in our technology teams. We're investing heavily and doing projects in data science, alternative data, machine learning, advanced analytics, natural language processing, and robotic process automation. So we'd be pretty keen to tell you guys about some of the things that we're doing. So we have a booth on the main floor, and please reach out to talk to some of our representatives, and I look forward to speaking with you this weekend. And have a good time hacking.
All right. Thank you, OTTP. Next up is SurveyMonkey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Rosa. This is JP. We're both software engineers, and we're here to talk to you a little bit about SurveyMonkey. Thanks so much for having us, and also the organizers. This thing has been going like clockwork, so thanks so much for your hard work. Yeah, thank you. It's a hard thing to do, so thanks. Yeah, so we're a big company. We've been around since, I think, 99. We have 17 million users, active users, and our mission is to power the curious, especially with people-powered data, because we're all about surveys, we're all about feedback, trying to empower, whether you're, running an event and you just want feedback on how your workshop just went, all the way to a big company that just wants to see, are you building the right solution? Is it hitting your market right? So I'll hand it over to JP to talk a little bit about why we're here.
Thank you. Yes, we're here today representing the Ottawa office mostly. This office has now 180 employees. And we're very excited to be here, first of all, to be able to meet you guys, to be able to answer your questions and mentor where we can. But most importantly, we're here for recruiting as well. And we are recruiting for summer co-op positions in this summer. So we are very excited to meet you, get to know you, and we have this amazing opportunity for you to be able to come and join in our growth in Ottawa.
And we also have a prize for the group that has the best use of our API. So if you're interested in learning more about how to set that up or want a walkthrough, we're running a workshop in like an hour at 11:30 in 4A at the building E7. Thanks so much. Happy hacking.
All right, thank you, SurveyMonkey. Next up is the Director of Force Development for the Canadian Special Operations Forces Command, Colonel Earl Vandal.
Hey, everybody, we're back. We're going to do more than just make noise tomorrow. If you are interested in making an impact on your country's national security, if you're interested in working alongside some of the best in terms of delivering that national security mandate, if you're interested in real-world problems that have real impact immediately, if you're interested in working alongside scientists and mentors, come and talk to us. We've got a booth set up, and you will be able to interact with our team members, those who have previously served with our virtual force, because we as well are hiring. We've got a lightning challenge, and those winners of our lightning challenge might find themselves enjoying their day a little bit more tomorrow. So do come by and ask us what we might be offering you if you pick up that challenge and if you're successful. We want to meet you. We're super stoked again to be here. You guys are amazing and what you bring, and we want to take advantage of that. And we know you have a ton to contribute to solving those real-world problems that we are facing today that have an impact on your country and your country's security. So look forward to seeing you all. Come by, and as I say, take a kick at our challenge. You never know where you might be riding tomorrow.
Thank you. Next up, we have ACV Auction. Give them a round of applause. Woo!
Hello. Thanks, everyone. My name is Dan Magnuszewski. I'm one of the co-founders and CTO of ACV Auctions. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do. So we've taken an old industry of selling used cars. Basically, the way they've done it for the past 70 years is they go and drive a bunch, thousands and maybe tens of thousands of vehicles into a big parking lot. Once a week, everyone drives there in the cold, in the heat, and they bid on cars. So we've taken all of that and we've put it into an app that allows dealers to be all over the country, wherever they are, on vacation, on a beach, being able to buy and sell vehicles. So we do that. We have condition reports that we do. We put a lot of effort into understanding that vehicle, being able to represent that vehicle to our buyers who are potentially buying $250,000 vehicles in a 20-minute long auction over a phone without ever seeing and touching that vehicle. So we do a lot in that and allowing people to see the right types of vehicles that they want. We're on multiple iOS, Android, web. As I was saying, with our condition report, we've created an R&D team that's using hardware, software, any type of ways that we can analyze data in a different way to be able to give that experience that's even better than being right next to a vehicle when you're looking to buy it. So we've created something called the virtual lift. Basically, you drive over, we've created some hardware that you drive over, and with an iPhone, we can fully reconstruct and scan the undercarriage of a vehicle to see if there's rust, see if there's rot, missing pieces, whatever else is going on underneath. So we've put a lot of effort into that, and it's a big part of what we do as a company. Who we are, so we started in Buffalo, New York, so we're about 2 hours from here. Yeah, all right, woo. Started in Buffalo, New York about 4 years ago. We've recently opened an engineering office in Toronto. We have about 90 people in product and tech in Buffalo. We've been able to recruit a lot of people back from Pixar, Facebook, Amazon, back to Buffalo to help build some of the best products in one of the biggest industries in the US. We've raised about $150 million in venture capital from the likes of Bessemer, Bain, and a lot of the other top venture firms in the world. And we're hiring. We're doing co-ops, tons of different positions. Come by, talk to us about our tech stack, everything. We run entirely on Kubernetes, Python, Java. So come talk to us, and we can go through and talk a little bit more about what we're doing and see if there's a place for you at ACV. So thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you around.
Thank you, ACV Auctions. And next up, we have Shopify. Woo!
Hello, everyone. My name is Kathleen, and I'm part of Shopify's intern talent acquisition team. I'm going to tell you a little bit about internships at Shopify. So what is Shopify? We are a proudly Canadian company with the leading, and we are the leading e-commerce platform. We power more than 800,000 businesses in over 175 countries. Shopify's platform allows anyone to easily sell online, in-store, or in person. Our interns join teams that are shipping solutions to real merchant challenges. Every year we hire over 300 interns in Montreal, Toronto, Waterloo, and Ottawa. Wherever work takes you, the Shopify internship program will prepare you with the skills and experience needed to make an impact. And like many of our interns, you might even join us full-time after. You're going to work on real projects, solve real problems, and gain feedback along the way. We provide the tools you need and trust you to take the ownership needed to make the right decisions. You're going to help build the future of commerce, Shopify, and of course, you're going to be building your career. And of course, just so you know, we're also hiring for our winter 2020 internships right now. So make sure to come talk to me and my teammates wearing our Canadian plaid. We're on the first floor of E7. Thank you.
Your turn. Facebook. Oh.
Thank you, Shopify. Next up is Facebook.
Hey, everybody. My name is Bill Hawney. I am the software engineering recruiter for Facebook here at Waterloo. We're really excited to be back at Hack the North again. I got to say, it is really much better experience right now. The E7 building is so nice. I was here 2 years ago in like the concrete E5, and the first-time hackers, you have no idea how good you have it here. So very excited to be here again at Facebook. Our mission is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together, and that's why we need all of you to help and be the next generation of that. We are looking for interns, and we are looking for full-time hires, so come by our booth if you want to talk about recruiting. We also have an API challenge going on. You can choose your Facebook API, and no restrictions, any API, any system, any framework. Whatever you all want to work on, you can go ahead and do that, okay? We are going to have an API workshop at 11:30 going on there in E7. The room's up there. Winning team, will each member will get an Oculus Quest, have some other prizes for other teams as well. So hopefully you will come and be a part of that challenge. Of course, it's Facebook, so we have to have a little Facebook group for this. If you have any questions, you can join the Facebook at Hack the North 2019. Our engineers are going to be monitoring that and checking it if you have questions. And we're also going to have somebody at the table the whole time there. So if you have questions at any point, Facebook, API, or not, feel free to come by, ask questions. We'll be there all 36 hours. I just got back from paternity leave this week. I have a 9-month-old. I haven't slept in 9 months, so I can do 2 more days for you guys, okay? So come on by. If you have questions, come on by to chat. We can talk recruiting. We can talk engineering. We're here to help you all out. Hopefully you'll join the API prize. And good luck to everybody.
Thank you, Facebook. And next up is FreshBooks. Please give them a round of applause. Woo!
Hey folks, my name's Chris. I'm an engineer at FreshBooks. I've been there for about 6 years, and FreshBooks is a company that makes software for small business owners and their teams so that they can run their business without having to learn accounting. It's a pretty awesome place to work. One of the things that's kept me there is, of course, the people, but also it's a nice size as far as like it's small enough that the work you do actually matters, but big enough to have the resources that you need to ship awesome products. We're running a workshop tonight at 12:30. It's in room 3A. So if you want to work on the FreshBooks API and see what you can build on that, definitely check that out. If not, come by the booth. And we're obviously growing and hiring. So if you're interested in either full-time, co-ops, whatever it is, come by the booth and see what we're about. Thanks.
All right, thank you, FreshBooks. Next up is Sun Life.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Dimkin. I am the Director of Identity and Access Management in our cybersecurity team at Sun Life. Here with me today is Krista Nagarati, who is a UW alumni.
Woo.
Woohoo!
Yeah, exactly.
Digital innovation is a significant part of our culture at Sun Life.
And it has to be if we want to be the best asset management and insurance company in the world. So we have so many exciting opportunities for students and new grads. As you can see, it kind of speaks for itself. But this is especially important as we look towards transforming our business with innovations like Ella. She's our AI-powered digital coach, and Lumino Health, the first of its kind digital health network in Canada. It's like TripAdvisor for healthcare. So let's take a look inside of our office. Or maybe not. Maybe? I guess not. Well, if you want to come and take a look at our office, you can come visit us at our 2 locations in Toronto. We also have a location here in Waterloo. And yeah, for those of you who are our Waterloo students and you're part of the co-op program, I came straight out of the co-op program and right into Sun Life. So it's a great opportunity if you're looking to expand your skills. And yeah, so come visit us at our booth.
Excellent. Come visit us at our booth and come and get some swag and have some fun conversation. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Woo. Thank you, Sun Life. And next up, we have Google.
Hello, everybody. My name is David, and I'm a software engineer at Google Waterloo, working on Firebase. Now, I'm curious, how many people here have heard about Firebase? Show of hands? All right, how many have used? Cool. A few, that's great, because Firebase will help you during this hackathon. It's a massive platform which allows you to build apps and websites and games, improve their quality, and grow them. And while this is all amazing and very, very useful, the things that you will want to focus on during the hackathon is things which help you build. Authentication, cloud functions to connect with any API out there, storage, Cloud Firestore, which is an amazing near real-time database. And we have an on-device and cloud ML kit, which allows you to run models on your devices. So all of this, we're going to be talking about this later tonight. We have a presentation. My colleague Kiana and I will be giving a workshop at 12:30 tonight. We'll talk about this. And for the best usage of Firebase APIs, we have a nice little prize, a Pixel 3a to give away. And finally, we have a Google and a Firebase booth. So there's a bunch of people there who are eager to help you out. So please come and see us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Google. And actually, we do have one more sponsor, which is Loyalty One, but they could not make it tonight. So please visit their booth on the second floor of E7 sometime during this weekend. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors. And yeah, we'd invite them to take their seats. And one last round of applause for our sponsors. So this year, Hack the North is proud to partner once again with Major League Hacking, the official student hackathon league. So please welcome our friends Jamie and Kevin to the stage to tell us a little bit more about what they do.
Hello, hello. Jamie couldn't be here. She had to go back to the hardware lab, so I'll be taking over. Good evening, Hack North. How are you doing? Thanks for sticking around. I'm going to throw a lot of information at you in just 3 minutes, but don't worry. If you forget anything, you can go to hack.mlh.io and get a quick refresher throughout the weekend. So I'm Kevin from Major League Hacking, and that is an anime version of me. So you can follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. We'll be posting all this weekend about Hack North and also other hackathons in the United States of America. So what is Major League Hacking? Major League Hacking is the official student hacker community. It is our mission to empower hackers just like you every single day, and we empower over 135,000 hackers in all 7 continents. Yes, that does include Antarctica, surprisingly enough. So, by being here and being part of this awesome community, you're helping earn points for your school in our season-long contests and rankings. You may be asking yourself, how do I earn more points? You invite more friends. Keep growing this amazing community that I've been really grateful to be able to join and be a part of, and you'll have your school go up in the rankings. For those of you in attendance this weekend, you can get the official 2020 season t-shirt powered by Capital One. We'll be giving this out after cup stacking, which will be tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. We have the MLH Hardware Lab presented by DigiKey. If you're interested in checking out something like a Raspberry Pi, an Arduino, or an Amazon Echo Dot, you can go on to hack.mlh.io/hardware. And like I said, Jamie's setting up the hardware lab right now, so she can help you out there as well. If hardware is not your thing, we have the GitHub Student Developer Pack at hackpack/GitHub. Also, if you want to get started with your hack using things like Node.js or Flask, we have hack.mlh.io/learn, and we have really wonderful resources for you to get started there. For the artistically inclined hackers, we have Draw an Octocat, Win an Octocat. It's a contest where if you make an artistic interpretation of Mona the Octocat and tweet at GitHub Education with hashtag myOctocat, hashtag HackTheNorth, then you could win and take home a Mona Octocat statue. One of my favorite parts of the weekend is demos, because I get to see what amazing work y'all create. It always impresses me what you're able to do in just 24 or 36 hours, and I get to give you a personalized Hack the North iDemo sticker, so please come out on Sunday and demo. I would really appreciate it. If you're interested in a job or internship, we have the MLH Career Lab. You can go to hackpack/careers and browse the listings that we have there. Okay, so on a more serious note, and just to make this clear for everybody, that MLH hackathons are a safe space for everybody. By being here, you agree to abide by the MLH Code of Conduct. If you have not read it, please do so. The link will be here and at hack.mlh.io. We really want to make sure that everybody feels welcome here. Harassment is never tolerated. If you feel uncomfortable for any reason during the weekend, please reach out to myself, Jamie, or an organizer. We guarantee we will drop everything to make sure that you're comfortable and safe at this event. If you can't find us, then you can reach us via email or via that phone number listed above. I want to give a final thank you to all of the partners who make Major League Hacking possible. And that's it for me. Happy hacking.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Major League Hacking, a hackathon league for students. Sounds pretty neat, eh? All right, well, if I have questions about logistical information about the event, where do I go, Christine?
You go to live.hackthenorth.com.
Oh, yes.
We also have information on our welcome booklet that you guys got at the registration table. So Hack the North continues to exist because of you. You put everything on hold for 36 hours to bring ideas to life, to learn new things, meet new people, and invested tons of energy into a single project. And what makes this event so special is the 1,500 of you sitting out there with crazy ideas and the drive to make them happen.
Hack the North's mission statement is to make it easy for anyone to dream big, and I mean anyone. It's our privilege to put on this event to bring together an awesome community and to share your skills and ideas amongst each other. We can't wait to see what you'll make this weekend.
So hacking starts at 11:30 p.m., so we'll see you back at E5, E7. Good night, we'll see you there.